Batman and Superman belong to all of us. Culturally, anyway. Legally, they belong to this copyright holder, who lent them to this movie studio, who entrusted these three Jokers with all Batman, Superman, and Justice League storytelling, even though their stories make us miss the other Ben Affleck superhero movie. And those dudes started shooting 2 Justice League movies just 2.5 weeks after the premiere of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice League trailer footage. So DC Comics is stuck. They're in a Thelma and Louise handhold with the people driving the most famous American superheroes off a cliff. DC needs to do something drastic. Luckily, the drastic thing is also the right thing. DC Comics should give Batman and Superman back to us, put them in the public domain, loosen up the trademark, and still make billions of dollars. If DC does that, everybody wins, and DC won't have to keep fighting to win an endless losing copyright battle. You see, when white guys with syphilis created US copyright law, they said a copyright lasts up to 28 years. But that's not long. And why would our forefathers bother to create Huckleberry Finn or Uncle Tom's Cabin or whatever porn used to be if they'd lived to see other people cash in on their work? Future Congresses agreed and passed several laws extending copyrights. By 1976, a copyright lasted 50 years after the author's death. So creators and their mooching kids were set for life. But in 1998, Congress took a break from examining Bill Clinton's wiener to extend that extension. The copyright extension. Bill's in working order. Congress added 20 extra post-mortem years to copyrights. They called it essential to protecting and encouraging the creativity of William Faulkner, George Gershwin, Walt Disney, and other very, very dead people. In reality, the Disney Corporation didn't want Mickey Mouse, created in 1928, to hit the public domain in 2003. So Disney put in years of lobbying to hang on to him, and it worked. If it hadn't, Superman would have gone public domain in 2013 and Batman in 2014. That's right, legally. If not for Disney copyright squatting, Batman and Superman would already be like Robin Hood or Dracula or Sherlock Holmes, public domain characters who anyone can put in their own original copyrighted story. And if DC Comics wants us to still like Batman and Superman after Zack Snyder is done drowning them in human skulls, they should give those caped heroes the Sherlock Holmes treatment. You see, Arthur Conan Doyle is very dead. So Sherlock Holmes, created in 1887, is very public domain. He's so public domain, the Supreme Court affirmed that status 2 years ago. And that status is why Sherlock Holmes is in everything he can possibly be in. From a kind of okay, too shadowy Hollywood adaptation that no one actually likes. Sound familiar, Zack Snyder? To an internationally successful franchise that teenagers like so much, they now care less about the Man of Steel than they do about this sociopathic pipe smoker. That's the magic of giving a character to as many different creators as possible. The good creators will make something good. Then that good stuff keeps the character relevant for future creators, making future good stuff, and so on and so on. And DC can still make their copyrighted version of a public domain Batman or Superman, and they can turn that copyrighted version into money. DC should know they already cash in that same way on Sherlock Holmes characters. Sherlock Holmes, Mycroft Holmes, James Moriarty, and a slew of other public domain Victorians starred in DC's The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, an excellent Alan Moore graphic novel series, and a kind of okay, too shadowy Hollywood adaptation that no one actually likes. How does this keep happening? Anyway, DC and Marvel have both done this kind of thing for decades. Marvel's even charging us infinite money, right now, for the opportunity to watch their muscular, red-caped flying version of a public domain god. Marvel makes bank off this version of Thor, the Norse god of thunder. And they roll in that 3D ticket money without owning this version of Thor, without owning this version of Thor, and without owning the closest thing Thor has to an Action Comics #1. Come on, DC, you know there's money in giving some rights to this stuff away. Hell, in the internet age, there's money in giving stuff away, right? Just ask Radiohead or Amanda Palmer or anybody else with a digital tip jar. Whereas there's no profit in giving exclusive control of your fun ideas to creators who think those ideas suck, like say Zack Snyder, who's directed 2 Superman movies, even though he openly admits he's so frustrated with the Superman character, he's been excited to murder him for years. And DC let David S. Goyer write the Batman v Superman script, even though he's openly argued that, quote, Batman vs. Superman is where you go when you admit to yourself that you've exhausted all possibilities. So create possibilities, DC Comics. You know, untie our heroes. Let check cashers and actual fans tell stories about them. It's the right thing to do, it's the more profitable thing to do, and if nothing else, letting any of us go make a better Justice League movie, if we can, is the best way to make your critics put up or shut up. That's why I'm gonna go shoot some test footage for my new Superman idea right now. You know, get ahead of the curve. And sure, I could use the power of this green screen, you know, but the internet told me this thing where the only legitimate way to make a movie is with 100% practical effects. So come on, Batman, fly along with me. We need to find Alex Schmidt. He's a real cool dude. And we're going to hang out with him and subscribe to the Cracked YouTube channel because he's cool and I like cool things because I'm from an alien planet and I know it's good, you know?